Peace, love, and light, family. It's your girl Morgan Renee Myers checking in with you all um, about my journey, my international journey. Um, I'm in a very interesting season, and I gotta be honest about my feelings. So I usually start every video off with peace, love, and light, but in hindsight, I've not always been that to everybody I've encountered, especially some of the people closest to me. Um, Sometimes you can take people for granted because they're so close, or you feel like they'll always be around, or well, they did this, so I could do this. Um, so I'm in a season of release um, and solitude, and it's forcing me to think about a lot of my decisions and friendships and relationships. And so I've been grieving, y'all. I've been the area I'm at rains a lot as it is. So, it'd be a rainy day and can't get to as much farm work as we may want to get to. And so it just leaves me time to sit with my thoughts and also to sleep. So I've been doing a bit of both um, and just doing a lot of reflecting and talking to God. And if I want to be really transparent, um, I'm going through some heartbreak during this season as well. Um, I have had some great encounters with some men, um, and I've also had some great encounters that turned sour. And I think what this lesson or this stage of life is really teaching me is to really focus on me. As much as I want to try to pour love into and see people for who they are and grow with them, um, people come in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and I don't always like that. Sometimes I want what may have been seasonal, I be wanting to see for a lifetime, or I didn't understand and respect what I had when I had it, and so a lifetime is not really an option. Um, and so I'm kind of dealing with that. I had a friend, and we just had a lot of misunderstandings and miscommunication during our time together, and when they went on um, from me, I still try to keep in contact with them, but it was always something with us. And I was able to reconnect with them again during my travels, and it was great for the most part. The time that we spent together was lovely. But now we're at a place in that situation where they have set boundaries against communicating with me, and it's rather painful to say the least. I'm expressing all of this because I missed a call from my mother this morning, and she was basically asking me how I was doing. I still haven't even called her back because a lot of what I want to express, I know she doesn't really even have the space and capacity to hold for me or give me any type of real assurance about anything other than, some general shit. Give it to God, pray, which I know. um, but yeah, I think that just kind of triggered within me, like, yeah, how the hell am I doing? um, so this boundary that's been set with me with this young man has just made me think of other, and just some of the conversations that we had, and the realization of why he's made the decision he's made, and me taking upon myself to respect his decision and not be on some stalker vibes and keep trying to get in contact with him, because we've had a lot of that, both of us going back and forth, reaching out, blocking each other, reaching out. And I do think there is a genuine love and respect there in some regards, but there's also a lot of hurt and pain and, like I said, misunderstandings and communications that happened in the past that kind of prevent us from moving together in peace. And I've dealt with that a number of times with some exes. Like, you try to rekindle stuff, but sometimes you just can never really let go what somebody has shown you or said to you. Things replay in your mind, and so it's hard to really truly move on. And so being here overseas, I came to help with a gardening project, And I assumed I would be mostly off grid, but some plans changed by the time I got here, so I've been able to be around Wi-Fi and sleep comfortably and things like that. But it still has allotted for a lot of self-reflection, um, and within this self-reflection, I'm just learning a lot about myself and my role in some of the decline in friendships. Um, I've been known to have a strong personality, but the biggest thing I'm learning is I oftentimes, and this has been a lesson I've been repeating since a child, um, that there's a time and a place to say things. There's a way to say things. Um, and sometimes how or what I have to say isn't always, appropriate. And it can, I don't go around walking on eggshells because I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but sometimes some things are just unnecessary. Or you didn't really think it through. Sometimes I speak before I really think something through. And so that's really something that this season is highlighting for me, that I have got to shift and change if I say that I want to continue to elevate and grow. Another thing that I've been noticing, um, I've been preaching and cooking and showing about this plant-based lifestyle, but I have been faltering, especially with, the chips and, just not putting the healthiest of things into my body all the time. Um, Giving, passes and excuses, that really is not serving me. And aside from that, falling off of my morning routine, my regimen, my waking up and stretching and drinking water and tea and all of that with consistency, like, taking breaks and all of that can do something to you. So these are all things I've been reflecting on. So I've been making it a point to um, get up and have my time with my affirmations, getting in prayer. And I hate that sometimes we have to go through stuff or like some shit really get shook up in our lives before we decide, okay, let me go back to God and be intentional and pray every day because we want something. Now life is really coming at us fast. So now we remember from whence we came. And I would like not to be like that. I want to be in a state of gratitude and prayer, um, and meditation and affirmation on a daily basis. And I notice, like, with me getting back into my rising routine, with my stretching and my workouts and things like that, that it gets harder every time I relapse and I stop. But the more consistent I am, the easier it becomes. And so this is something that I need to keep up for myself, and that's why I had even started making the posts when I would make the did you wake up, stretch, drink water, go over your goals, pray, all of that. That was for me. A lot of stuff I put out be for me, but I know others are going through it and they can benefit. But now I really have to um, look out for me. And so, yeah, I just been dealing with sorrow and grief, regret, remorse, because when I sit and think, not just the young man that has set this boundary with me, but when I think back to even like middle school, I remember an encounter with a friend that was like, oh, you treat me differently when these people are around. I really had to reflect on, damn, do I be switching up? Or why have I done that? Was it because I was uncomfortable around a set of people or trying to seem, popular or well liked? Because I've never been one for confrontation. So, like, with some of these things that I'm doing so that this group of people wouldn't see me differently and treat me weird, um, what was the motivation behind some of the stuff that I've been doing? And so, sometimes taking a hard look at yourself in the mirror can be a little disturbing. It's like, damn. And so, yeah, I felt the need to put this out because I feel like a lot of people, especially where I'm from, just think I'm so perfect. And and I ain't trying to be. Um, and I'm human and I make mistakes too. And at this point, it's like my mistakes are coming at me hard. I might be reaping a bit of karma. Um, but I'm also using this time to heal and trying to be gracious with myself and not beat myself up completely, because although I've made some mistakes, and some of these mistakes, even if they were intentional at the time, have caused pain and hurt people, and ruined some of my friendships and relationships. I have to move forward, and I have to grow, and I can't just sulk and be sad and beat myself up for forever. All I can do is try to do better moving forward. Really lean on the Creator, and listening to them more, because I think that's what it is too, getting away from listening. Um, and so I kind of want to do like a silence challenge, or what I'm trying to say. Just take like a vow of silence, like not really talk so much. So I don't know how frequent these videos are going to be from what I had planned. And I have this book called Taming the Tongue. It's like a 30-day book, um, because I feel like I need that. And this is a place where I could kind of get away with it. I do have to kind of talk to the people that are hosting me, whose land I'm working on. But there are certain parts of the day where I have a lot of time to myself. So, um, yeah, I'm really kind of feeling this vow of silence energy, just so I can continue to reflect and just do better. Cause my heart is really hurting, y'all. Like, I'm so, I do have a therapist that I have an appointment lined up today. Will be our first one. Met her at a poetry event, and she was telling people that she was a therapist, and I went on her site, and we chatted for a bit, and I was able to go through another site, or program, and apply for some vouchers. So I get like my first few sessions with her free before I had to come out of pocket, because I don't got nobody insurance or job. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing what I can learn and heal. Because I know my damn childhood issues is a big part of why I act the way I do as well. And some of these defense mechanisms I have, and some of these relationships that I burn so easily, it seems like. I know it has to do like that, because hurt people really hurt people. I had to reflect on that. Like, when you hurt, and I don't even realize where some of this is stemming from, but as I was just sitting and thinking, well, like, why is this particular issue always come up with guys I deal with? Or why am I even attracting this type of guy to even go through this with all the time? Um, and then you got to sit back and reflect. Um, the codependency, the abandonment issues, the mama and daddy issues. What are these things that you're seeking outside of yourself? And that's a lesson that I've been learning, that nobody is going to come save me. I have to save me. I have to take part in my own healing journey, um, and making sure that I'm okay, which is part of the reason why I even am on this trip. So I'm glad all of these things are coming up so that I can deal with them. And if I ever even come back to America, or wherever I choose to flow in this thing we call life, that I'll be better equipped to handle myself and how I deal with people moving forward, as well as setting some of my own boundaries. Um, I even started writing a poem about how I wish, I admire the strength that this young man has. Because we really have been vibing and feeling each other, and there is a connection there, but there's, like I said, some pain and some misunderstandings as well, and those seem to override the pros for him. So, but that's something that I have was able to learn from that brother, that nobody's gonna come save you. You gotta put in the work yourself. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. But I'm grateful for this journey. And like I said, I want to get this down packed before I continue my world travels. I want to continue knowing myself and learning myself so I can do better. And I needed this time. It was kind of hard to really work on me while being in my city, because I just, I was doing a lot of events. I'm kind of well known, so I go places, I see people. People need stuff. I create a lot of things. I connect a lot of people. And so it was just getting a little overwhelming as far as like my time and energy levels. And so being where I'm at overseas in the jungle, nature. Like, it's just really showing me a lot about myself. And so I'm grateful. And I'm going to be okay. I got to go through the fields. It's growing pains. I actually wrote a little poetry series called that about a year or so ago when I was trying to get over some other joker. But yeah, I noticed too that when I go through some of these life altering, emotional hiccups, that's when my pen I get more creative and thoughts come out of grief and pain. They come when I'm happy too, but I notice when I'm especially upset about something, they come out even more. So yeah, that's how I'm doing. I am growing and healing by the day, and I will say, to honor myself, I'm going to have to be more intentional about caring for my body, especially early in the rise, and the things that I put in it. I can't deny it anymore. The little cheat days and all of that, I literally can't handle it. And you are what you eat, and your inside reflects your outside. So if I'm feeling all of this and it's coming at me fast and it's repeated cycles and lessons, then I have to at some point catch it, or it's going to keep repeating itself. And so just taking this time to really honor myself, really get in tune with me. Yeah, so I'll tune in with y'all soon. I got some things in the works, and some things I want to share with you all outside of this. So I'll be tuning in with y'all again soon. Y'all keep your girl lifted, and y'all take some of the lessons of what I shared today and analyze your own life. Sometimes we really need that. We need to have those moments. We need to know that we may not get that friendship back, and it may be hard to face. If you gotta cry, cry about it. Cry to somebody, get off. But if you gotta cry, cry it out. If you gotta write, if you gotta make a bonfire, if you gotta go swimming, get in a jacuzzi, do something relaxing, get a massage, do something. And that's why self-care of the body is effective too. Seeing a chiropractor, doing yoga, working out, stretching, all of these things kind of help aid in moving and flowing a lot of that negative energy and stuff in your body. Stuff we know. And when I stop and I start back, I'll know, the cracks and the creaks, and it's hard, and it's like the more you keep at it though, the easier it'll get. And it is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. We need it. Our bodies need it. And the older we get, the easier it's not gonna be, if we keep neglecting ourselves. And that's a lesson that I'm learning. I'm 32, and I'm not liking the way I'm functioning. In some ways, I could be more flexible and free. And so I'm getting back to me. That's what the season is about. So I appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in. And I'll check in with y'all again soon. Peace and love.